Can you believe it's the end of another module? We have finished module 8. I'm looking at my calendar right now. Wow, we have only one more week before we start doing some TCAP stuff. So we'll get to do next week's story. We'll just start module 9, and then we'll have a week, really 2 weeks of TCAP. So it's going to be interesting. Our schedule will be kind of crazy those next 2 weeks, but at least we get one more regular week of reading. I'm anxious to see what module 9 is about. But let's don't worry about module 9. Let's synthesize our thoughts from module 8, like we like to do at the end of every module. And we're closing module 8 out today with our test on our story this week from Now You're Cooking and our spelling test today. Let's think about these things for a minute. So I want to synthesize my thoughts with you on module 8. So as I begin, at first I was thinking, ooh, I like this module. Because I really like cooking. That's one of the things that relaxes me. It calms me down after a stressful, sometimes very busy day at school. I go into my kitchen at home and I'll put some nice music on. I love to listen to music. I'll put music on and I'll get my ingredients all out and I'll start planning my meal. And it's just relaxing. Some people think that it's stressful, but cooking relaxes me. It's something that I really enjoy doing. So at first I was thinking, I'm looking forward to this module because it's something that I really like to do about food and cooking. And then as I was reading, I was thinking, well, when we read the first story, Eco-Friendly Foods, I was thinking, I'm not going to like this module after all because I don't know that I like reading about the science behind food and how water bottles can get chemicals in your water and worrying about how much waste you create, even though that's important. That was more of a science lesson than cooking lesson, I was thinking. That's what I was thinking as I was going through that first story. And then as we got to the second story about bug bites, I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to try any recipes in this module, I don't think. I don't want to eat any bugs. And then we had that other little video about Kids Rock Nutrition in the Kitchen, about those fish and chicken wraps. Those look pretty good, or packaged rather. And this week's story, of course, was about cooking. And I like Martina's recipe in this week's story. But by the end, I was thinking, hey, I really like this unit. It had lots of different types of stories. We went from more of a scientific story about being careful with the environment, our ecosystem by using foods that don't produce a lot of waste, to how can we make a healthy meal that's so simple that even students can cook it, to looking at a story about food all over the world that we wouldn't think anybody eats, bugs. And then this week, having a story written. It was a fictional story, a realistic fiction story, but a story written about a cooking contest. I think that's the first story I've ever read about a cooking contest. So by the end, I was thinking, yeah, I like this unit after all. It was better than I thought it was going to be. So that's how my thoughts synthesized throughout this module. And then let's make some connections with the text. So when we read, we find ways like that the text is like things in our own life and other texts we've read. So text to self connect a text to your life. Well, one of my favorite shows to watch with my wife is called Chopped, and it's on the Cooking Network. Have you ever watched Chopped? And it's a cooking competition. So they actually give the contestants a surprise basket. They don't know what's going to be in the basket, but they have to make a meal with whatever is inside the basket. Well, that was just like what happened with Martina and was it Joey? And our story this week, they got both a surprise bag of food that they had to make a healthy meal with. So that story reminded me of my favorite show, Chopped, that I like to watch. Text to text, I really can't think of a story that I've read before that was like these. But like I said, the eco-friendly food story, it reminded me of our science book and some of the lessons we've done on keeping our environment safe, protecting animals' habitats by not polluting. So it kind of reminded me of a science lesson that Eco-Friendly Foods did. And then the text to the world. I guess the thing that I thought of about the world around this was when we were reading Bug Bites, and I mentioned it that week when we were reading it, it made me think of sometimes I'd walk I love beef jerky, and so does my daughter. So we go to the beef jerky outlet there at Sevierville beside Bass Pro Shop sometimes. Well, actually, a lot of times. And in there, they have those bug lollipops. They have chocolate covered grasshoppers and crickets and things like that. And I thought I'd never eat those. But you know what? After we read Bug Bites, I might just have to try one of those. I'm not super excited about it, but I think I'd be a little braver to try it now that I've read Bug Bites than I would have before. So that's how a story made me think about the world around me. I hope you enjoyed these stories, and I tried to make them as fun as possible for you to read, throwing in some videos, cooking videos and kids eating bug videos and things like that. So I hope you enjoyed it. Well, I'm going to let you get to your spelling test and your story test for today. So take your time and do a good job on both of those. And then I'll look forward to beginning Module 9 with you next week. I'll see you today at our meet. Bye-bye.